Hello, everyone. Welcome to our show, Indian Food and Football's new show. And we have a gentleman, I think, who needs no introduction in Indian football, a person who has managed Indian side in both the stints. He has left a mark in Indian football. A foreign coach who had who made a big statement in 2019 Asian Cup when India last played. Uh, Perfect gentleman, and I have a huge respect for sir. He managed my favorite club, East Bengal, for a one season. And thank you, Stephen sir, to joining in for giving us time out of your busy schedule. I know you're in a holiday, but thank you for joining with us, and hope lovely to see you.
Yeah, same here, Sayan. Thank you for inviting me on my show, on your show, I should say. And I look forward to your questions.
Yes. Sir, firstly, I think I should congratulate you. I think the way you have managed Pakistani national team. I think the team, which was the Pakistan went through a ban. After that, they have come back with not a proper league structure, which is not there. So how has been the time of yours in Pakistan? How challenging it is, because I've heard a lot of stories.
Yeah,
How challenging?
There's so many stories. Look, obviously, the biggest issue for me at the moment is that there's no league in Pakistan, and there are talks of a super league happening, which I think would be a massive mistake, to be honest. You know, in India, when we decided to have the ISL, okay, there were some problems there as well, but the fact that India were going to have a national league that included, let's say, for argument's sake, the teams that could come into the ISL was a good. Why? Because football is played all over India. Football is played all over Pakistan. People just don't know it. My first, I would say, request or job would be, if I was in charge of the football in Pakistan, was to start the state leagues like we had in India a few years ago. Yes. People disrespected the state leagues and wanted club teams or club teams as well. But for me, the state leagues could be development leagues, under 21 leagues, where you could develop players to go into the East Bengal or Mohammedan or Mombagan or whoever. But in Pakistan, it's most important that they have these state leagues. Why? Because we need Pakistan players and we need Pakistan coaches to get back on track with the rest of the world. And then after 3 years, maybe we can have a Pakistan Super League. At the moment, they are not ready and not capable unless millions and millions of dollars are pumped into the football ecosystem. And I would rather that go into the development of coaches and the development of young players than paying 36-year-old foreigners to play in a league that no one is going to really care about.
Sure, sir. Actually, I think we had a discussion. I think when in your stint in East Bengal, I think we discussed one important thing, and I think many of the people are not aware. I can share that I've asked you one simple, and you gave me a very good answer. And right now, when I have a reflection, I understand what was the points you wanted to make. You said me one important thing, sir. See, the game of football in 2002 and 2019 stint was a very different stint for you. You see, the game has become more commercial friendly now. People are able to watch the game because in 2002, when you started in India, it was very, very difficult in India also. You had I think you had a practice in, I think it was near to a stable, right? The team stayed there. It was near to a stable.
Yeah, that's where that's where Mahesh Gawali contracted. I can't remember. He got sick because of that, and he didn't play in the LG Cup.
Yes. Yes. But sir, do you think sort of Super League, because you have in India Indian Super League, which has been now 11 years old into the system? Do you think that has made any impact on Indian football as an organization? Because you are saying Pakistan will also launch PSL in coming time. So do you think Super League model really works in our setup?
Look, I think the Indian Super League at the time of its inception was a good idea. Obviously, when they had the seven foreigners, for me was a waste of time to go and watch four Indian players and 14, 20 foreign players. And I didn't go in the beginning. I didn't go and watch the ISL games because there wasn't any Indian players. I used to go to watch in the I League.
I think yes.
But I think that we have to change things a little bit. For example, I don't like the playoffs. They have gone. It's an American company behind them,
Yes,
and they
I
are
know.
trying to emulate the MLS and the USL leagues. Well, I can tell you that a couple of weeks ago, the USL have decided to do promotion relegation in
Yes.
the United States. So I think there should be some criteria, of course, but that criteria for the I League teams, they should have obviously the correct stadium, the correct training facilities. But I'm sure that with the state league help and the government's help, that they would be able to attain these. But we need promotion relegation, and we need it not now, yesterday. There's no competition. I mean, and it's like in the MLS, the first 9 go to the playoffs, and in the ISL, the first 6. There's only 12 teams, so that means half of the teams are going to the playoffs. So average teams, you're rewarding average teams, and we don't want that. We want competition. We want tough competition. So I would definitely say they need to change a few things.
Okay, sure. Sir, your take on the SAF Championship, which is likely to be held this year, and do you think that this SAF Championship, I think Pakistan would try to make a statement? You have already seen Bangladesh when they played India in India, they give a good fight. In fact, eventually they were the better team in the field. What we saw in the ground. A very disappointing performance by India. Do you think right now the gaps between India and other SAF nations are going very less now right now?
Okay, so let me go to your first question. The format of the SAF, as I understand it now, is home and away, and those games will be played within FIFA calendar windows. And I think that's absolutely the correct decision by SAF. So congratulations to them, because playing 4 games in 10 days or 6 games, if you play 3, you play 5 games by the time you get to the final in one country. I understand there's an expense to it, but being able to play home and away 6 games, I think is much better for the organization, for the players, for everything. I mean, you can include your players in FIFA windows. You can bring the diaspora players if you want to. I remember the last SAF we played in Bangladesh, and we used the under 23 team of India.
Yes.
We didn't take our big players because obviously we had qualified for the Asian Cup, and for me it was about development, and will always be about development. So that's the first question. Your second question was?
The gap of the other SAF nations are coming very. So India and other SAF nations, the gap is narrowing down massively in last few years.
Population doesn't give you the right. Iceland, I would give as an example, a population of 350,000 people. They went to the World Cup and they've been to the Euros, and they beat England 3-1 in the Euros. It's not about population. It's about coach education, having the right coaches in the right places, picking the right players, developing the right players. I remember when we did our scouting in 2015, some people told me not to do it. Some people told me, don't waste your time. This was somebody at the AIFF, one of the technical directors said to me, don't waste your time. And I said to me, what are you talking about? We are here to work, to develop. I want to leave India, and I want to leave it in a better place than when I found it, from the football perspective. And we found Manbir Singh, we found Ashik Kornian, we found, I can't tell you the number of players that we found. Some of them will obviously came and played for the senior national team.
I think Vishal Kite also, sir. So I would just interrupt. Yes, Vishal Kite also.
Vishal Kite was one of our guys. Good young keeper. There are many players, and I'm actually so proud that we did the scouting network. Even prouder that we found players, and more proud that they are making good money now with clubs in ISL and some of them playing for the national team.
Sure, sir. Sure, 100%. But the gap is always, that's a big concern, because this SAF championship would be a test for India and other SAF nations, because this, as you said, that if it is played on FIFA dates, I think this would be a very, very tricky SAF. I think if you see Sri Lanka also doing pretty well right now in the qualification, they are also doing good. Bangladesh, again a good threat to India. Pakistan, under you, it has resurged. And obviously Maldives, I understand they are going through a transition period, but I think India isn't. I think other nations are eyeing a big eye. I think we had a discussion with the Bangladeshi journalist.
I think that, you have to take care of business. In the 2 tenures that I had, I think we're pretty good for India, and for me, we achieved results both times. So far, I think mistakes have been made, and big mistakes. And I think this is what's causing the problem. We have too many egos, and people who are not football people making football decisions. And you see, when that happens, they think a different way. It's not wrong, it's different. But we have to think in football terms. Why do we need promotion relegation? Well, because there's a continuous motivation for teams. If you are playing poorly, you get relegated. It happens all over the world, because FDS are, like I said before, American-based. They place this around the US system. Even the US system now, they are changing. The MLS in time will change, or it will die. I can tell you that. They cannot sustain it. Average teams going to the playoffs. Everybody goes to the playoffs. It's just so. I think in India we have made mistakes. Can we recover? Of course. India is a massive country with lots of talent in it, but you have to do the right thing, and I mean the right thing from a football perspective.
Sure, sir. Sir, one thing, Mr. Kollol Mukherjee has questioned you. Stephen sir, I would like to request you why India cannot play good football in international stage. He is saying that after 2000, this is my next question to you. 2019, we saw India, which was very different to the India which we have seen in the regional, our continental championship. A team who defeated Thailand, the mighty Thailand team. I think it was coached by Milovan Rajabek. I think he was one of the coaches when I think Ghana he was taking care of Ghana, and I think he was the person who guided to Ghana to the quarterfinals in 2010 FIFA World Cup. And his job went after our game. He was sacked after the 4-1 loss, which India gave.
I had met him in the hotel, and I said to him, you've got 2 more games. And he said, no, I do not. They've sacked me. So they sacked him on the team bus. Yeah, yes. That's obviously the nature of this business. But why India cannot play football in international stage? They can. They can, and we proved that in 2002, 2005, and 2015 and 2019. But you need some things. You need discipline. You need unity within the dressing room, and you need to understand the different people that you have in the changing rooms. There's a lot of things that go into it, but I would say, hearing some things from some players that I know, There has been some issues with discipline. There have been some issues with favoritism, and if you have those two things in the situation, you are only going to have problems. And I can see. I mean, I didn't see India play the other day, but I have heard they weren't very good. And I feel for Manolo, I think he's a very good coach. He has good understanding, good knowledge. But there are problems there that he needs to fix, and I'm sure he knows that.
100%, sir. And he also was very disappointed, and he raised many questions regarding players' commitment, or many things were questioned by him or himself. So another part, sir, I want to ask you. So see, after 2019, after that Asian Cup heroics, and I think we played good football. After that, Indian football has gone through a very tough time. In 2023, we were not able to score a single goal in the championship, and we lost all the 3 games. It is not about losing, about how we lose the game. That is more important for me. If you see 19 and 23 as a benchmark, because we had a coach in 2019 who has coached for 4 years continuously, and 2023 also. We had a coach who has coached us for 4 years, but some of the results were not so encouraging in the Continental Championship. Do you think where we have gone wrong in last 5 years? Because I think we have gone wrong, but where we have gone wrong?
Look, I think one of the big mistakes that some people have made is their reliance on Chetri. Chetri was very, very fortunate that we took him to the Asian Cup in 2015, because he wasn't at the top. He wasn't at the top of his game.
Okay.
Sorry?
Okay. It was 2019, no? The Asian Cup, you are saying?
Yeah, but I'm talking about 2015 to 2019. But when I say he wasn't at the top of the game, by the time we left, by the time 2019, there was a decline. Sunil Chetri scored more goals in his career in the 4 years that he spent with us, internationally and at club level. Okay, so in that period, he scored the most goals. Why? Because we put him in a position to do that. By the time we came to the end of the 2019 season, I could see there was a slight decline. He's a good player, he's a clever player, but you can't play with 10 players. And when you are playing with Sunil, you're playing with 10 players unless you have the ball. Okay? I said to him after the games, I said, if I was you, I would retire from the senior side, the national team. You are leaving at the top. Unfortunately, he didn't listen to me, and now he's, I think, understanding at his age that he's now going not scoring goals. He's going without goals, without playing well, without being the Chetri that he was in his heyday, and he's just, I think, for me, not helping his name at all. But that's the one thing. So I think that's, everyone says we don't have strikers. Well, we had Ajit Kornian, we had Manvir, we had a few other players that played in that group. JJ. There's a few more. I can't remember all of them off the top of my head, but we developed a pool. I mean, you have to look. We have players in the I League that can play in the national team. I'm telling you, we proved it. But you've got to go and look. If you're not looking, then you are not going to find. Where did we find Manvir Singh? We found him in the university. Okay, yes. Is he Sunil Chetri? No. But you're not going to find too many Sunil Chetris. Chetri in his day was one of the best strikers that India had. I would go I am Vijayan, Bhutia, Chetri, in that order.
Right. Sir, one thing, I think many of the journalists in India has questioned this move to include Chetri at this age And when he came, what is your take on this? Should he have been added in this squad of Asian Cup? Your take. I just wanted to understand.
I think Manolo Manolo selected him. He knows the league better than me at the moment. But personally, I wouldn't have included Chetri in the national team after 2019.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
by doing that, you are not looking for development. I mean, 5 years ago, he was 36, 35, whatever he was. You know that sooner or later that it's done. For me, he was done after 2019. He didn't score a goal in the Asian Cup. He scored a penalty, I think, with Thailand.
Yes.
That was the only goal he scored.
Correct.
At least he scored, though.
So one thing I think I have got this. I always want to ask this on this platform, that one major problem which our Indian team or a club like East Bengal, which you have managed, your last destination was East Bengal also. Do you think East Bengal is also going through that phase that they have also gone a lot of tough times? They are still unable to make to the top 6 in the league. This year they came close, but till the last game there was a chance, but somehow again we didn't go to the top 6. So we are missing the thing. You are
missing the thing. You have club officials who want to be the coach at East Bengal. Okay, you have club officials at East Bengal who decide which players come, which players go. And you have people at East Bengal who are bringing low-quality players, giving them big salaries. And I think this was not the way that I wanted. And I can tell you that I was offered a new contract at East Bengal. Okay, but the club officials didn't want me to take that because they don't tell me who plays, who doesn't play, and they don't tell me who will come to the team from some other team or some other country. That's my decision as the coach. So obviously some people weren't happy with that. But what we did, I know fans are disappointed, but we had no money. Okay, I had $600,000 to bring 5 foreigners. 5. Okay, people don't know this. We had Clayton. Clayton finished the top scorer in the league that year. We had more points than East Bengal had before. That's not saying much because for me, East Bengal, it should be a top 4 team. But you know, when you have people interfering in the day-to-day running of the club, from the football perspective, I'm not talking about the media. I'm not talking about the sponsorship. That's nothing to do with me. Staff of football, and the staff means players and masseur and team manager. This comes under me. Okay, and they weren't happy that I wouldn't let them play. And you have people that are still there that they shouldn't be at the club. They're not helping the club.
Sir, then this shows that if we follow this same method, also success will be. It is very, very difficult to get the success, because if you see in your tenure in East Bengal, the budget was very, very less, but much less. In last 2 years, we have spent it more, but results even the same. Still, we are unable to.
Why? Because you have people who love football for sure, but don't know football. They don't know the players. They don't know these foreign players that are coming in. There's no due diligence. You can't sign, I'm not going to say his name, an Indian boy, a right back, and give him 3 lakhs or 2 lakhs. He's not worth it. But that's what we were doing. Okay? It means something else is happening. You can guess what that is. Okay? So when you are operating in that way, what do you think is going to happen? You're doing the same thing, but you have a different coach. Next year will be a different coach. The guys who are spending the money they spent the last 2 years, What did they do? They still didn't go to the playoffs. If they would have left me for one more year and given me half of the money that they gave the last two coaches, I'm telling you, we would be in top 6.
Yes, yes. We are very much sure, because during those times we have discussed a lot of things. The money was a big, big worry that in the 2-3 years back when you were coaching the side, and it was a very transitional period. But I think thanks to you, we got a good player. I think now Mahesh Singh, he has become our regular starter in our Indian national team. Under
Manish, the stopper that we signed from the second division, Chanuga. Nunga could be a very good player. And I give you an example with Mahesh Singh. When I spoke to Igor, and I met him in the hotel, and he said, "Oh, you know, this little player that you have, Mahesh." I said, "Why have you not selected him?" And he said, "Oh, coach, you know." I said, "Listen, the kid can play. Bring him to the team." I said, "And if he makes anything bad in the national team, you can publicly say that I told you to take him. You trusted me, and you can blast me in the media. I have no problem, because the kid can play." You know, so for me, it was about developing Indian players. It always has been, and now it's about developing Pakistani players.
100%. I think you're doing a very good job. I think one of Soikot Poddar has questioned here. When you were coaching East Bengal, the physical literacy of the East Bengal team was so low. Why did the team stand still for 60 minutes? After 60 minutes, we started getting goals, conceding goals. That we have observed.
Saket. Is his name Saket?
Saikat.
That's absolute bullshit. You have no idea. You have no idea what you're talking about, my friend. Okay, that's not the case. Okay, the team didn't have a problem with fitness. We did have a quality. We did have a problem with the quality of the players. Some players, obviously, not every player can run around with a chicken with his head cut off for 90 minutes, and that's not the case. So you know. That wasn't the case. We didn't have a problem with fitness. We had a problem with quality and understanding, tactical understanding in some cases. But because I'll come back to the thing. So for the last 2 seasons, have they had problems with the physical fitness? I don't know. I didn't watch, but that wasn't the case with us. And if Saikat knows me or my teams, we don't have a problem with physical fitness, my friend.
No, which I do. Brig wants you to be back coaching a national team or neighboring country, and you're doing a good job. But given a chance, sir, that many of people in Indian Football Fraternity is already saying, we are seeing in Twitter, there is a campaign going on, bring back Stephen Constantine, bring back Stephen Constantine. Are you aware of this news, firstly? And secondly, if the role comes to you again, will you accept it?
Okay, so I had heard some rumors that there was a thing to bring me back. Look, let me just say this. I had 2 stints in India, 3 years and 4 years, and then a year with East Bengal. I can honestly say that I enjoyed and I loved every single minute that I had. I feel upset that Imami and the club could not. Imami wanted me to stay, and I feel upset that they didn't let me stay, because for me it was unfinished. We built the foundation in that first year for me. I didn't think that we were able to go to the top 6 in that first year. We didn't have the quality of players that we need, and I'm talking both Indian and foreign. Okay. Some of the foreign players played okay, some of them not good enough for what we are paying them. So that's the first thing. So yeah, I am aware of the bring me back thing. Would I accept? That would depend on where I am and what is being offered. You see, for me to come back to India, I don't say no, and I'm not saying yes at the moment. I'm just saying to come back to India, I would want, if it's with the national team, full control of all the national teams. And I would set up a scouting network for all of the age groups. We have talent, both on and off the pitch. We need to help our coaches better. Not everybody can go to the license and get the license. It needs to be more competitive for me. But so yeah, I am aware of this. I'm humbled by this, and you know, obviously, I had such a good time in India for the 8 years. I can't say yes, I can't say no, because no one has offered me anything. So at the moment, I guess I'm with the Pakistan team. I don't have a contract at the moment with them. Okay. I'm pretty sure that they're going to offer me something. I think after the results that we've had, obviously there have been a draw, a win, and 7 losses. Yes. But if people understand the context, there's no league. The last time Pakistan played was in June. That's the last game that Pakistan played as a national team. We had our goalkeeper plays in the 3rd division in Denmark. Our stopper plays in the 1st division in Denmark. And some of the players haven't played for 6 months. Some of them haven't played for 3 months. And the fact that Syria could only beat us 2-0, obviously I'm not happy that we lost. But given the circumstances, I had 4 training sessions with them before the game with Syria. 4. That is not good for any team. It's okay if all the players are playing with their club sides. Then okay, for practices, okay. You're gonna think about the tactical side. You're gonna think about what's your job. You're not gonna teach them how to play football, and you're not gonna make them fit in 4 days. So I honestly, the boys were unbelievable the other night against Syria. When you see all the press in Pakistan and the people and the messages that I've had over the last couple of days, it's a shame. And I am telling you this, that if Pakistan get their shit together, they're going to be a very strong team in the south at least.
Okay. It's a warning bell for us. This we have. This is a warning bell for us. And Cartoon and Gaming is saying said we really missed you in the national team. You have done a very tremendous job, especially with limited resources, with a lesser camp. People are, I must say, the Sir had very lesser camp, and he worked with lesser camp only. Are we still ready to play short passes? What are your thoughts? Sir, what's your take after you left? There was a saying that India will now try to play games on passes. So you have watched India play after you left. So what is your take?
Yeah, listen, Manolo, if you're listening to this, don't take offense. Why are we copying what the Spanish do? Because basically that is what the Spanish coaches come over to India, they come to England, they come to Cyprus, and they have a certain way that they play. It's not wrong, but you can't expect the players in different countries to adapt and play the way that they play in Spain. There's not the quality, there's not the understanding, there's not the willingness maybe. Obviously, Spain winning World Cups and Euros, they're fantastic, and they have some tremendous teams and tremendous players, obviously. But not everyone can play that way. So 9 times out of 10, when the Spanish coaches comes to India, he will play 4-2-3-1 because that's how they play in Spain. 90% of the teams play that way. I don't say it's good. I don't say it's bad. If it helps you win games, then great, win games. But you have to have the quality of players who can play that. Now we have this thing from playing out of the back. Yeah, if you have time, if the other team gives you space, sure. But some teams are playing out of the back when there are 3 opponents on the edge of the 18-yard box. Honestly, I don't understand that. You're asking for trouble. Now, some will say, yes, but then if you bypass them, you have more space. Okay, it's a way. There are many ways to play football, but you need the right players in the right place and the right understanding, the right technical ability, the right tactical ability. So I think if you make 20 passes and it counts as 1 goal, then I would say, yeah, let's do that. But it doesn't. You still need to put the ball in the net. And most goals are scored from 3 to 4 passes or less. Most goals are scored as a result of 3 or 4 passes, not 25 or 26. And guess what? You don't get any points if you have 30 passes and you don't score. So for me, possession. Yes, we must have possession so that we have the ball, but possession with intent. I want to hurt you. I want to make you pay for giving me possession. Sometimes you go forward. I want my players to play forward as often as possible. The Spanish philosophy is to keep the ball, move the other team around until you find an opening. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. It's like everything else. It's no one size fits everybody. And I think many people are very impressed with the Barcelonas and the Real Madrids of the world and fantastic teams and the Spanish national team. They play fantastic football, but you're not playing at that level. You're not coaching at that level. And the level of the Spanish players and Madrid players is not the same level as players at East Bengal or Odisha or anywhere else. It's just a philosophy. Now, it's down to the coach to implement this philosophy. And if it works for him, then fantastic. I don't have a problem with how they play or what they play. But you need to have it to understand what you have in front of you. And what you have, I mean, in terms of the players.
Correct, sir. Sir, Ratul has asked you a question. He says, sir, if you get to coach India again, will you choose players from ISL or both ISL and I-League? Because he says I-League also have good players like Edmund Lalbek, who has been scoring goal as a forward. And we have a problem in scorers. We are not able to get scorers for the national team. What will you do?
Ratul, I don't care where the Indian player is playing as long as he's playing. Okay, we found Manveer in university. Okay, we found Ashik Kodnian playing sevens. He was playing sevens when we found him with no shoes. Okay, and I don't care where they come from, as long as they have the ability or there is the potential to develop them. See, Ashik was a development process. Manveer was a development. We talk about the young left-sided midfield player. Sorry, man. I forgot his name. He played for the national team. Played for Mumbai. Chante also was development. When I first got him, I had to sit down and talk to him 3 or 4 times because every time he gets the ball, he wants to do something fantastic. You don't need to do that every time. Do it when it's necessary. And he became a great player. It's like I said, we have the talent in India. We need to start looking for these talents, and they could be anywhere: university, college, I-League, ISL. I don't care where they come from, as long as they fit the character that we need for the Indian national team, and obviously the ability. And if you put them in the 17s or the 19s or the 23s, give them chance to develop. When we qualified for the Asian Cup, 14 players came from the under-23 national team. Anirudh, Thapa, you know them. There's many more.
Many people have come out. Sir, Agniv has raised a question. very valuable question. He says that your stint in national team India, even with the ISL huge wages, how you manage the dressing room discipline, especially during important tournaments. Because now what the media reports are in India, that it is very, very difficult when the discipline is somehow missing in the national camp. So how do you manage it? It's a very good question put up by Vivo.
Well, if I say something, I mean it. So if I say to you, you need to be at the training facility at 7:45, you need to be there at 7:30. Because if you're late, you're not going to train. If you miss a meeting, you're going to pay a hefty fine. And you can ask some of the players. I gave them a choice of, I think it was, I can't remember exactly numbers, but it was a big, big fine, or you can go home. You decide. They both paid the big fine. The money that we made from the fines, we gave to charity. So it wasn't like we gave the players fine. Look, players need honesty. Look into my face and I tell you, this is what is going to happen. Okay? I will make you a better player. You will get into the national team if you do this, this, and this, and this. How do you stay in the national team? You need to do this, this, and this. I don't care where you come from. I don't care who your mother is, who your father is, who your uncle is. I don't care. Can you play the way I need you to play for my team? Okay? We have many, many diaspora players in Pakistan that we can choose from. But some of them have the wrong attitude, and I didn't pick them. And they are playing in, shall we say, European leagues. I don't care. We are a team, and everybody's important. The kit manager, the analyst, the players, the team managers, they are all important. And no one gets treated any differently. And that's how it was in India when I was there. There were, of course, some players who would, shall we say, I won't mention his name, but he came to a camp. It was his first camp. And we trained, and obviously we trained quite hard. In that time, we had a good 15 days before the game, which was great. And player X, shall we say, finished the session, and then there was another session in the afternoon. And he came down to it was a gym session. So player X came down to the gym session and he said, I wasn't there, by the way. Okay. It's none of my business there. This is for Danny, actually. Danny Deegan, who is now the sports science coach for Chinese women's national team.
Yes.
And he said, Mr. X, you are with this group. And Mr. X says, no, I have my own regime. I will do my own training. And Danny said to him, Mr. X, you are in this group and you are doing these exercises with these players. Okay. If you don't go, then obviously I have to tell the coach. Yeah, it's okay. Tell the coach. Are you sure this is what you want to do? He asked him. Yes, I will follow my regime. So then in the, I think it was late in the afternoon, they informed me that Mr. X refused to participate in the session with the national team players, and he did his own thing. So I booked Mr. X a flight back home, and he left in the morning the next day. No problem. And Mr.
So
X
can we get a hint of Mr. X? Any hint for Mr. X?
No hints from Mr. X. If he hears this, he will know who he is.
I would not say the name now. So, sir, do you think our national team player need to play simple football? Spanish style possession football doesn't suit us. I think many people are now saying
that. I don't think. Look, the Spanish style of football is fantastic. They play some really, really good football. especially in and around the box. Okay, but there's a process. It doesn't suit everybody, and in order to be able to hold on to the ball, lots of movement, lots of running, awareness. It's not a bad style. I'm not saying Spanish football is bad. It's just it's difficult to get everybody to understand how to play that when you don't have the quality for the players to play that. And because, look, I'm English. People say we play long ball football. No, we don't. We play forward if we can. If we can't, then we have to go back and around. But it's not about do we need to play simple football? Play what you see. Yes, we need to be. You can't say one thing that is going to be the answer for it. What kind of players do we have? How fit are the players? What is the level that we're playing at? There are so many. Agnew is a good question, but you cannot say that. Okay, we're going to play Spanish style football. What does that mean? Possession based. There are many teams that play possession. Manchester City play possession based. A lot of teams play, but it's you can't say one thing is going to be good for everybody. We have in India, in South Asia, we need to find our style. Our style in 2015 and 2002, 2005 was aggressive. We used to hit people. We used to play hard. We press, fight. East Bengal, we used to fight as much as we can. That will always be my team because I like being aggressive. I like pushing somebody in a corner. Now you decide what you have to do. We will ask the questions. But to do that, you need to be fit. You need to understand the game. We want the ball to play forward. You look at England played the other day against, I think it was Albania. And Foden plays for Manchester City and Pep. And they are possession-based. They want to keep the ball. Now, Foden got the ball. He looked in front of him. There was something he didn't like. He turned around and he passed the ball back. And the coach came to the touchline. What are you doing? Play forward. It's just a different mentality. So play forward when we can.
Correct. Sir, Arijit Mitra has a question for you. He says, Coach, please share your opinion on overseas Indian origin player to be allowed to play for Indian national team. This has been a hot topic. You see, Hamza Choudhury coming in Bangladesh has made a good headline. I think in 2005, I think Jaish Rahman, I think he played for the English Premier League side and he joined Pakistani national team. So this has been happening to our all neighboring countries. In fact, Sri Lanka has also started it. India is way behind in it. Do you think it is getting solved in near future?
Okay, so I almost had the opportunity to go to Wembley to meet Mr. Modi in England. And I was told that I would be able to ask him the question, can we use the diaspora players that we have all over the world from India? In the end, I was told that I could not go, and especially not to ask this question. Look, it's in our constitution. And you know what? This topic only comes up when India are not playing well or they've had they're having bad results. When India is doing well, no one talks about this. So I would say, would it be good for Indian football? Yeah, I think there are good at least 12 to 20 players that could possibly represent India in their senior national team. However, I think the government has made it clear on many, many occasions that this goes against the constitution. And I don't know if the government is ready to do that, not necessarily for football reasons, but for other reasons that obviously are above my pay station. But listen, develop the talent that you have. You have 22 professional teams in India, at least. Develop the players, develop the coaches. If you keep waiting, if they decide to change the constitution, they will change it. If they don't, there's no point talking about it until it happens.
Sure. Omnivo has a question. I think he is saying a point. So Indian national team quality and depth inside out. Yes, we might not be the top 10 teams in Asia, but we can definitely beat Thailand, Kyrgyzstan, Syria, team around 85, 95 rankings. Your take on this?
Well, we beat Thailand, we beat Kyrgyzstan. Syria have diaspora players, by the way. We played them a few days ago. They have four that are playing, three that are playing in Argentina, top league. One is playing in Colo Colo in Chile. They have players in the MLS, top league in Denmark, top league in Sweden, top league in Norway. They are a very, very good side. And so, no, I think we would struggle to beat them, to be honest. But what we have to understand is we need to play a way that suits us. We need to be tight. We need to be compact. We don't have the quality for our players to make 25, 30 passes. And even if we did, I wouldn't want that. I want us to play forward. But to do that, there needs to be movement. There needs to be understanding. There needs to be an awareness. So Agniv is a good question. Can we beat Thailand? Well, we did beat Thailand. We destroyed Thailand, but that was in 2019. I don't know at the moment if we are able to beat any of those three teams that you put there. We could have beat Bangladesh at home. I like your confidence. So.
No, he's very optimistic about Indian football and always been saying
we should be. We have the ability, but we are not doing many things to make that possible.
So Orgo has given a good question. He says, what would be the strategy to scout Indian striker? Where Indian team is really lagging. In ISL, we hardly seeing coaches prefer Indian striker. I would add one thing. I've asked this question to Igor Stimac when he was coaching the national team. And he before the SAP Cup, I think which was in Bengaluru, I asked him the same question. And then he said, there is no other sign, there is no other player than Sunil Chetri who can score goals and win you matches. Then the next question I asked him is, Coach, do you think that other players are even tried? For example, against Nepal also, against Bhutan also, we are failing Sunil to score goals. So when will the new guys get a chance to play? So what is your take on that?
Okay, firstly, I would say that I do not think there is a single player of any country that plays for his national team, which, by the way, is the highest honor that you're going to get in football. I do not think that any of them would not try their hardest. Okay, so let's, from the effort, are they good enough? That's another story. Are we looking for players? So, for example, in the ISL, just about every team in the ISL goes to get foreign striker, attacking midfield, maybe a central defender, and so on. Okay, those are so the Indian players thinking, I'm not going to play if I be a striker. They won't play me, so I'm not going to be a striker. I'm going to be a right back or a left back or something, attacking midfield player. I would say to the Indian players, play the position that you are comfortable in, play the position that you want to play in. We would scout. That's how we found the players that we found for the Asian Cup, for the SAF, for the under-23s. We scouted them. That's why I'm saying get back state leagues, under-21. They can play there. No foreigners in the state leagues. Only Indian players or only Pakistani players. State league. Okay. You can then control the players, and from the state leagues, you will produce players. The clubs are not producing players. The academies at clubs are not producing players, or not too many players from from my understanding. And again, if you're an Indian player and you know that all the foreign teams, sorry, all the clubs are getting foreign strikers, oh, it's going to be too difficult. I won't get an opportunity. That's also a consideration for some of the Indian players. But when we had 2015 and 2019, and we set up the scouting network, we went and found scouts in Calcutta, in Goa, in Mumbai, in Delhi. We found players. They're out there. You just have to look for them.
Correct. So Ognivo says a very fond memory. Like Ognivo, I also have a very fond memory of this game, India versus China in 2018, where we drew against the mighty Chinese team with stars players like Gaolin in the team,
Yes.
and it was managed by Marcelo Lippi,
Yes.
legendary soccer. Can you share us some story about that game, because people in India are not much aware about that game? It was an away game. And how was the reception Indian team got after the game?
Well, it was the most watched game on television with the population in India and China. Yeah, it was a friendly game before the Asian Cup. We had two games before we started the Asian Cup. One was with Oman, and the other one was with China. I always wanted to play against bigger teams. Because it will help us in the rankings if we get something, and B, it shows the players this is what we are going to be competing against. That was I forget his name, but a striker. I think he was from Mohammed.
Gaolin.
Huh?
No, for Mohammed. No. You saying about Indian?
Yes, Indian. He was a striker. Farouk in the 90-something minute was one-on-one with the goalkeeper.
Yes.
and he should have scored. And honestly, I was told that in China that people were jumping off of the top of their buildings because they had bet so much money. India was no chance to draw, no chance to win. Minimum was 3-0, 4-0, 5-0, 6-0, 7-0, like that was the betting. And of course, a lot of the Chinese bet on their team to beat us. I can tell you after the game, I had the opportunity to meet Marcelo Lippi. We had breakfast together. We were staying in the same hotel. And after the game, he was very, very complimentary about the team and the effort. I will bring you back another time when we took the under-23s to Qatar. Okay, we hit the crossbar twice. Their goalkeeper made one or two good saves, and after the game, we lost 1-0. And this was for the under-23 Asian Games. And the sheikh was the president of the association. He came into the dressing room, and he said, "Where is the coach?" "Sir, I'm here." "How long have you been with this team?" And I said, 6 weeks. "What do you mean?" I said, well, 6 weeks. We did 10 days in Australia. We had some friendly games, but the boys have been together exactly 6 weeks. But you played so good. We did not think this was a team from India. And I said, "Well, sir, you should come to see us in India." I said, "We have some very good players, some good teams." Yeah, but like you said, people don't know enough because we don't do enough to show them. I think in 2002, 2005, we had a great time. We went and won the LG Cup. We made some very good results, and then 2015, 2019. So, but in between and since, we haven't done what we are capable of doing. I think, like I said, I think a lot of mistakes have been made. We need to fix them and see what happens.
Done, sir. Sir, I think before we wrap up, I think two more questions I will take. Orgo is saying that what is your withdrawal of your take on the withdrawal of Indian Arrows, which was withdrawn by the AIFF 2-3 years back? Do you think it is a wrong decision taken by the AIFF, or do you think it is okay?
Okay, so in 2002, 2005, I floated the idea of having an all-Indian team in the I-League. which we had the I League then. I said, and only Indian players. This came from us in 2002, 2005. It was a huge mistake to remove the Indian arrows. They should have continued that. You would then have at least 4 or 5 Indian forwards playing in the ISL. Do you see? You can have. I don't say you should have all of them from one team, but if there are no Indian forwards at this moment, with the Indian arrows, you would have had. Okay, so I think it was a huge mistake when they pulled it. They should have continued with it, and I think if we want our cake and then we want to eat the cake, then we should be the ones making the cake. And at the moment, we're not. We are bringing lots of foreign players, and some of them are good, some of them are very good, and some of them are not so good. We are paying them lots of money for what? Reduce the number of foreigners. I don't know how many is it now in the ISL. 4 foreigners can play. Four. Yeah. Okay. For me, that's acceptable. And so from 4 foreigners, you've got 7 other positions. You should be developing strikers as well. But like I said before, sometimes the Indian player feels that he's not going to play. So what's the point of being a striker? They won't play me. But Arga, that was a really good question. And yes, it would be part of this supply line for the national team, not the only one. It doesn't mean that those Indian arrows are all going to play for the senior national team or they're all going to play for the under-23s. They will be selected the same as any of the other Indian players who are playing for East Bengal and other clubs.
Yes, sure. So the one thing I would like to ask you, I think we have discussed about the Indian coaches and foreign coaches. We have asked the impact. So 2-3 days back, one of the East Bengal official, Devbrata Sarkar, in the press conference said that the way India, Devbrata Sarkar, Nituta of East Bengal, in one of the press conferences recently, he said that the way India is right now playing, I think there is no need to take foreign coaches. Ideally, we should go for Indian coaches to be given the role of, like he said the name of Khalid Jamil. I will take the name. He has taken the name. That's why I'm also taking the name. He vouched that Khalid should be made the national team coach. Your take on it? You think Indian coaches have come to that level where they can manage our national team setup?
I would say no. And I would say that Nidu should stick to what he does. There is not enough experience with the Indian coaches of having coached foreign players. They need to go abroad. They need to get experience. Khalid Jamil has done okay, but he's been on the scene for what, 10 years, 12 years? He's not new.
Yes.
I don't say whether he's good or bad, but I think to make a statement like that, you don't need foreign coaches. I think they do need foreign coaches. I think they need the right foreign coaches. There may be some question on some of the qualities of these coaches. They're not all good, but I don't think you can have good everywhere you go. But we need the foreign coaches. But what we need is better coach education for our Indian coaches. I would say that part of the process should be that every team should have at least one Indian assistant coach, okay, so that they can develop, because I don't think that they are getting enough from the coach education. They don't have the experience of dealing with foreign players. This is one thing. So if you have an assistant coach at every team, then fine. But why are there I-League teams hiring foreign coaches? Because they don't trust the level of the Indian coach at the moment. And this is not the fault of the Indian coach, let me say. I think the AFC and the AIFF should be doing more to organize and assist the Indian coach to develop. I had Venki for me with all the national team. I had several Indian coaches. If you don't develop them, how will they progress? The same as the players.
correct, correct. I think we have, sir, we have discussed this also that there are good coaches. I think currently Venki Bhai did a very good job under you when you.
Mahesh Kawali is another one.
Yes, yes, yes.
There are quite a few out there, but
There
we
are,
need to develop.
I think Reddy Singh is also coaching. He's the assistant coach in with Bengaluru FC. He's also there. Many
Yeah,
people have
but
come out.
what I'm saying is that in every ISL club and every I League team, the minimum should be an assistant coach must be Indian. The minimum.
Right, 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 right. Sir, we have come to the last part. I think we'll have the rapid fire. 5 questions thrown to you. You have to select one option, and um, there will be 2 options given to you. You have to select only one option. So it would be so because I know you, and that's why I'll not make it easy for you in the rapid fire. At least I'll push in some names, and so that people also get interest while they say see it tomorrow also. So coming straight to the part, your pick: India or Pakistan?
Cannot.
I understand. I'll not force anybody. I just thought of asking you India or Pakistan, where you think apart. No issues. I'll go to the next question to you. Throw you the next question. You saying Sunil Chetri or Baichung Bhutia? Your pick.
Bhutia all day, every day, 7 days a week.
Okay, Bhutia. Okay, I'm very happy with the answer. He's my favorite player.
Why?
So
Because he's a leader. He's a captain.
yes, yes, yes. Sir, Bhutia bhai or Vijayan? I am Vijayan. Bhutia bhai or Vijayan? I am Vijayan. Your pick.
Vijayan.
Vijayan. The class and flair which he had. I think many of the people say also. So I'll give you another. I'll think. I know the answer, but I think I'll ask you: East Bengal or Mohun Bagan? We are sure your pick because
Right?
many of the East Bengal fans still ask me about you. They always ask me how you're doing and also. And I must say, sir takes all the games of East Bengal is noticed by sir. Staying so far, he's following the games. Sir, your pick: East Bengal or Mohun Bagan?
Really? Red or gold, baby.
Haha.
Red and
Gentleman.
gold.
Okay, okay. Joyce Vegas. Sir, lastly, I think I'll ask you a question. I think I'll give you choices.
I thought
That
you
would
said.
be
I
not
thought you said it was rap. I thought you said it was rapid fire.
no rapid fire. But I want to ask you one question because I think this is it is very difficult to give you 2 parts to it. So I would ask you: Do you think Indian coaches or foreign coaches? And if it is in foreign coaches, who you think in the foreign coaches who are doing good work, they can be looked into, or Indian coaches who can be looked into in the national team setup as an assistant coach at least. What do you
Okay.
think?
I'm going to say I would go with foreign coaches because they have bigger and better experience in their countries, whether they're in Europe or South America. They bring a lot of good things to Indian football. Now, as I said before, we should be insisting that all of the I League and the ISL clubs have an assistant coach within the staff in order to develop them. This should be a must. Yes, you can bring 2 members of your staff. You will bring one assistant coach that unite. Maybe you will bring a goalkeeping coach, but we will give you one assistant coach. You can decide on the assistant coach. So you give him 2 or 3, let him work with those 2 or 3 coaches over the next few weeks, and then let the foreign coach decide which of the 3 Indian coaches fits his philosophy, because you need a chemistry. It's not easy to stick a coach that hasn't worked with or don't know or this kind of thing. So that's what I would say. I think I don't think we have helped the Indian coach in the last 10, 15 years enough. We don't have any Indian coaches coaching in Asia. So why? Why is that? Or not many? I don't know any.
I think Naeem Saab was the coach for a very small time.
He was in Bangladesh.
Yes, he was in Bangladesh.
Yes.
Naeem Saab was.
No.
He was there for a few days in Bangladesh. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So, sir, I got your point, sir. Actually, we want actually not. It's not my say because people are in India. I have been always fond of you and the memories with you as a coach of national football team. Indian national football team has always been special. Always been special. In fact, now also when we see matches of India, we say in 2019 we played like this, and this was the game which we used to play. So let's hope that I to always say, but I think more and more people are now realizing it and saying that you should be back to the Indian football setup as a role. We want you back, and thank you for the time.
Let me just say, firstly, thank you for inviting me on the show, and thank everybody for the questions. Let me just say,
yes,
I only ever had, whether I was East Bengal or the national team in India, it's Pakistan now, or a club in Cyprus, I only ever have one agenda, okay? And that's to win football games, okay? I finished a master's degree in sports directorship a couple of months ago. It took me 2 years and a lot of money and a lot of work. I now understand more about the game outside of the pitch than I did before. My point is, what I'm saying to you is that I only think about football. I don't care about the other stuff, okay? So building a team to last, okay? You are not going, East Bengal were never going to qualify for the top 6 in my first year, okay? Did I want to qualify for the top 6? 100%. Was it possible with the money and the level of players that other people had signed before I arrived? When I arrived, we had 12 players.
Yes.
Well, 12.
Yes.
And this was 10 days before we played our first game. Okay?
Yes.
What I'm trying to say is that I don't care about the commissions. I don't care about how much players make. I don't care about how much I make, as long as I have enough to support my family. Okay? I care about my team, my players, and how we play. And I think if you asked most coaches, they would say the same thing. You cannot tell me who plays. You cannot come into my dressing room. You cannot come into my office. You cannot tell me we're signing this player, whether you like it or not. You cannot, okay? This does not happen. Now, there are other people who have other agendas. And they look at the team as a way maybe to make some money. The same way I make money. I make money from the team. I don't. But do you understand? So that if you understand what I'm trying to say is, and I'm not just talking about East Bengal, of course, the national teams. It's my life. Yes. It's the thing that keeps me alive. What can I say?
Done, sir. Sir, I hope that East Bengal also revives. Coming back to East Bengal before we wrap up, I think we are getting some players this season. Few more players to be added this year. We are making a team again very strong.
Well, you know, it seems like they keep starting from scratch every year, and honestly, that's not the way to build a team. You can't be changing 8-9 players every year. You know, it upsets the rhythm. It upsets the balance. Liverpool didn't make any transfers last January window, 0, and they can buy whoever they want. So you figure that out. You need balance. You need consistency, continuity, and most of all, you need to love what you do.
Yes. Now Imami is also taken up a lot of stake and they are spending money. I think the money which is spent, we should be spent very how you make the best out of that money. That is
They're,
more
wa-
important rather than spending.
they're wasting money. You can't get the players. You can't get the players before the coach comes.
Correct.
You know, if you're going to have a new coach, let the coach decide. How did I know which players to bring in when I got there? I didn't. They bought the players for me. I think I picked 2 players, and one of them was Clayton Silva, and the other one was Haris Kiriakou. Why did I pick him? He was cheap, played right back, left back, stopper, and defensive midfield player. That's why I picked Harry. He wasn't the best foreigner East Bengal ever to play. Of course not. But he filled 4 holes for us. He played for the Cyprus national team, played and was captain for 2 of the top teams in Cyprus. Okay. But the rest of the players, I didn't pick.
I still remember one player which I think he was taken, Iliandro. What was his name? I still remember Iliandro. I think Iliandro. He played.
The centre forward.
Yes, and
that was
half of the day I should text you, is he playing today? Because half of the day he's not. He was not.
No, exactly. It was a disaster.
Sir, you said me about the bodies part that was there, but thank you, sir, for your time. I think we chatted a lot about Indian football and the way Pakistani football is also developing under you. And I hope to see you soon back in Indian football in any role. I think people like you who have understands the football of our nations better than many people, I would say. And I think you best part about your way of dealing things, you're really realistic in your approach. You know what to get out best out of this Indian players in the field. So thank you for your time, sir, and always been a great fan of your work. Great love. I generally disturb you a lot, but it's not about it is not only because that we have that relation, and I always have a huge respect the contribution you have made for the national team. I think
it was a pleasure and an honor to serve India. It has given me and my family a great deal. You never know what's going to happen in the future. I wish East Bengal and the national team, I hope they improve. I hope things work out. I think Manolo is a good guy. And see you at the far post.
I think that would be very, very interesting. I think when we meet in SAF, I think that would be a very, very interesting
let's see. I mean, as I said before, right now I don't have a contract with Pakistan, so it was I went back to help them for this game with Syria. So who knows? I could be Chinese national team coach.
I think it will be lovely. Sir, I think he's a joke given by Rahul. He's just joking.
I don't know.
Today.
I don't know. Guys, all East Bengal fans, guys, I don't know why everyone thought or thinks that Smith Passy is my son. He was with the under-23 national team. He played a couple of times for the senior national team. He was, for me, one of those Indian strikers that needed to be developed. Okay, I don't say he's a Chetri or a Bhutia or Vijayan. Those guys are you don't find every day. But he worked his ass off. He pressed, he pushed, he gave whatever he had. Was it good enough? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. I remember when we beat Mumbai 3-2, he scored 2 goals. And suddenly my son was the best player and then he missed the chance against I don't know, Orissa, and why are you playing him? Okay, players have periods where they're good, they're bad, they're not so good, and we need to support them. Yeah, he's the captain for the team, if I'm not mistaken. I wish him well, as I wish all of my players well. But yeah, honestly, I never met his mother. We had so it'd be completely impossible for him to be my son, adopted or not. But great question, Abdul. I was waiting for that. I was waiting for that question, but you left it till the end.
Okay. Sir, one thing I would like to say here is that the way things have planned. Thank you for your time again. I have said it many times, but I think we'll catch up very soon after the SAF Championship is over, and I think very soon, once you're back in Indian football or not back in Indian football, we will have discussion about the way we can make this work, Indian football, to take it forward from there. Thank you, sir, for your time. Lovely talking to you, and people who have watched our video, thank you to them also. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir.
Yes, thank you, guys. Take care. Bye.
Bye. Bye.